good evening, and welcome back to another episode of the All Fullback Podcast, episode 84. We've got another jam-packed show for you tonight, so without any further ado, joined as always by Chester 430. Good evening.
Good evening, Tank. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, thank you. And I'm also joined by Hadlin83. Good evening.
Good evening, Tank.
And also joined by Shaz. Good evening.
Thank Hads, Chester. Good evening.
Mr. Bubbles.
Yes.
Gave it a rest this week.
And it begins already.
Oh yes. On tonight's show, we have the reviews of the Wolves versus the Cowboys, Spartans versus Panthers, and Dragons versus Storm. Then we take a look at the league table after week 9. Then we shall have Shad's Rider of the Week. Then we shall take a look at the new Greensheets with the rolling averages taking effect for the next fixtures from the Knockout Cup onwards next week. Then we shall preview the BGP and SCS round 3 at Northside. And then we shall have the track draws for the pairs and the reserve pairs. And a preview look at both of the Knockout Cup semi-finals between the Wolves against Storm and Spartans against Dragons. So, our first meeting of the week was Wolves against Cowboys, and it was a narrow win, 50 points to 46 to the Wolverhampton Wolves, and both teams now, with that result, get points on the board, and it looks like it was a very close meeting throughout. So, Hads, what was your take on the meeting?
It was good to see, obviously, both teams get off the mark at last. Wolves, even though they had the new signings, neither of them actually rode. A good guest in Squall as well there, and 2 guests for the Cowboys as well. So it goes to show the availability problems I think that both teams have had this season already. But it's good to see, obviously, both teams, as I say, getting off the mark. But there was some notable performances. JC, especially for the home side, 16 plus 2. And a good guest in Squall, as we mentioned, 12 plus 3. And Bewitcher again, another double figure score for number 5 with 13 points. I think they got 7 points from the rider replacement. I mean, I think if Unknown or Limo was right, they'd have scored a couple more than that, and maybe the Wolves would have got all the points. But you have to give some credit to the Cowboys. Bobby set his team up with himself at number 4, with him riding it with Craig in the first heat. Rico seems to have found a bit of form as well as late. Another a 10-point score for him. And Bobby breaking the track record in heat number 12. So that was his first win, I think it was, of the night as well, when he did that. So, as you say, Reese was a good guest as well for the Cowboys. I mean, 9 plus 1. No disrespect to Mr. Audi, but he's not scoring 9 plus 1 in my opinion. So it was a good all round battle. I mean, was looking through the scorecard because obviously there was no recordings for this one because Squalls, I think it updated and it didn't have the recordings on. But Hobnob, I want to highlight Hobnob's importance of his last 2 rides because he's had 4 races and scored no points, and most people would have thought, oh yeah, whatever, I'm just going to throw the towel in. And he got an important 2nd place in Heat 10, beating Speedy, and then winning the reserve race in Heat 13. That was really, really crucial to get the Wolves over the line, I think.
Yeah, I think another turning point as well was, I mean, quite big really, was Bewitcher and Hutty getting a 5-1 over Craig and Rico as well. it was lovely to see Hutty obviously, get the better of Gray, which is rare that obviously Gray will be beaten by a lower end rider typically.
Definitely. And our friend Mr. Shads was in this one as well. But I don't think he'll want to say too much.
No. I'll always front up. Always front up. Can't hide from it really. It's all there for you to see. Miserable night for me. Gating like a tractor, and generally way off the pace for most of the night. Probably stopped the Cowboys winning, for which I apologise to Bobby and the team. I know Speedy messaged me afterwards saying, "Don't worry about it. You turned up, you tried your best," which I did. I mean, I scored 10 points here a few weeks ago against almost the identical lineup, albeit at number 6 rather than 3. But it's puzzling why I struggled so much on Tuesday when I scored so well before. I mean, I remember what you said about Reese. I mean, Reese only had 15 minutes practice before the meeting.
Wow.
He was Ben was going to ride, but he's a bus driver and his bus broke down. So he was obviously couldn't make it, and I think they messaged Reese, who was at a party at the time, a family celebration. So he rushed home, jumped into practice about 15 minutes before the meeting, had a few laps, and goes and scores 10, including 2 race wins.
Wow.
Yeah. So what a boy!
And beating Bewitcher as well in the process.
I
that
know.
one.
Yeah, remarkable.
Nice. Nicely done.
I think, and I think I could see Wolves actually climbing up the table now. They've got that first win on the table. I think that'll give them the lift that they've needed. And with Unknown and Lima, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with from here on.
And don't forget, Dips coming back because he was unwell on Tuesday, so he couldn't ride.
Yeah.
He'll be back. He'll be back next week.
Yes.
They might have a full squad to choose from.
Quite possibly. They chose the dates, so they obviously know what dates their riders are available. So I think they offered us Monday and Thursday. So we went for the Thursday, seeing as there's a lot of our riders are riding on Sunday. So I think 1 day turnaround's a bit too short for us. So yeah, we're going for the Thursday.
So that was the Wolves versus the Cowboys, where both teams finally got their first league points of the season. Our second meeting of the week on the same night on the Tuesday was the Peterborough Spartans against the Ellesmere Port Panthers, and the Spartans obviously won 56-40. Pretty much similar scoreline to when the two sides met in the Knockout Cup first leg in week 1. It looked a closer meeting on track than probably the final scoreline looked. Shaz, what's your take on the meeting?
Yeah, it's a meeting I actually didn't ride in this week. Another good home win for the Spartans, but they were made to work hard for this one. Stefan again led from the front, but for a Shads type gate in Heat 7, he certainly would have scored another maximum. I believe that's his only his first defeat at home. Tank, is that right? By an opposition rider this season.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I never noticed at the time until
No,
Stefan actually said.
23 races, which is remarkable, really. Good team effort from them all. Maybe Birchie a little bit under par. Alan chipped in with some points too, but they were put under more pressure than I suspected they expected to be put under. And Panthers obviously didn't go there to lay down, and they battled hard throughout, but still only managed 5 heat wins and 2 heat advantages. Showing how hard it is to get anything against this power pack Spartan side. That's only the third 5-1 conceded at home this season in all competitions. Certainly a slightly better effort from the Panthers than they put up in the KO Cup back in early September. Marecki again, top scored, having a great season. But it's a tough one for the Panthers, despite their efforts. I thought Tintin looking at the recordings and the races, he looked a little rusty. having not raced much this season, but I'm sure if he can get back in the groove, he'll be putting a few more points on that. Now the Panthers have a free week now with the KO Cup coming up before their trip to Kings Lynn in a little over a week's time. I mean, the next home meeting isn't until the end of November when they face the Dragons. That means that there'll be potentially 9 weeks between home fixtures. Isn't that ridiculous?
Wow. I didn't realise it was that long.
No, neither did I, to be fair. Yeah. But no, and that from a personal point of view, I'm pleased to have actually scored what I did, because I scored 4+1 in the Knockout Cup, and I've gone a little bit better this time. So I've improved on it, and obviously Mareki, I think it's the only time this season that he's been under double figures in the Knockout Cup, so we managed to improve on that. So there was, across the board, there was improvements. We trained a bit more. We had time to practice a bit more for it, and we had a better idea of the line, given having read there already, and the YouTube videos and recordings to obviously fall back on as well. So yeah, if we would have liked to have been closer, and could have done, but it's just one of them,
Yeah,
really. It was always going to be tough.
It's a funny one because first glance when you watch the recording, it doesn't look like a really difficult line to get. But obviously, when you're up against these guys, you know, the likes of Ad, Dillashaw, yourself, Had, Stefan, you know, it's a different matter, isn't it? But I think someone's going to go there this season and give them a really good go, not going over as such, but give them a closer meeting. But obviously, with that side, it's going to be difficult. Whoever goes there. But no, I looking at the line, it doesn't seem there's that much mystery in it. But like I said, you've got to beat these guys, and they're very good.
I think the difference maker sometimes during this meeting, and I think it's home track knowledge. I got beat twice by Az by using the bend 4 wide round the fence and then cutting up, curving it, bends 1 and 2. Both times I got beat by him, and that in the latter part of the meeting. So I think that is a part, and I know you had to have also used it as well.
Yeah, I try not as effective as what the other guys do, but it's really hard. It's very specific. You either hit it or you've been in the middle of nowhere. There's no in between. So you've got to be really confident to hit that line. But they're I don't know how they do it and set themselves up for it every towards the end of the races maybe. But I have to give credit obviously to the Panthers. I mean, at halfway point when you got that 5-1 there in Heat 9, I mean, you got it back to 4 points. It was like, hold on a minute. These are, you know, we got to do something here because they're not going away. And it was just 3-3 after 3-3 after 3-3. We're like, just need a little Heat advantage. And then I think once that was there in 14, obviously that kind of killed the meeting a little bit. And then the last 2 4-2s at the end, but fair play. I mean, obviously against Cape C in a few races, he was really fast. To be fair, obviously yourself in that one beating Stefan. Obviously, we know Stefan didn't make the best start, but you was gone. To be fair, Tank, you had no issues, and Stefan was just fortunate to get Skyrider on the line as well, right on the run to the line. He got the second place. So. Yeah, I think it was a lot closer than what the score suggests, to be honest. And we knew that the Panthers had come, obviously, having rode there in the Knockout Cup and knowing the line a bit more. And yeah, we got over the line in the second half of the meeting, fortunately. And yeah, some good points, but obviously some good performances as well from the Panthers team.
Yeah, so So that win for the Spartans, obviously, and that puts them. I think they're still in second place in the table. We'll have a look at that in a couple of minutes. But on to the third and final meeting of the week. It was on Thursday night, and it was the Hastings Dragons against the King's Lynn Storm, and it was a very tight one, just like the Wolves versus Cowboys, and it ended 51-45. And I did say last week, and that on my preview, that I could see Dragons potentially losing for the first time at home, and if it wasn't for a couple of the pings, I think that would have been the case. They were very unlucky, and obviously riding for Storm was obviously Ad's MFT, because they had no TJ because he was elsewhere. But Chester, shall we get your thoughts on the meeting? What do you take on it?
Yeah, it was a good match to see. The home team started off on like a house on fire, with getting that 5-1 in the first race, and it was a lead that they didn't surrender. It was pulled close a couple of times. The away team had to play attack sub in Heat 7, but again, it was a lead that the Dragons didn't relinquish, and I think they've got the track sort of dialed in now. It's good to see Cam and Swall scoring well with 13+1 and 12+1 respectively. Badger was consistent. Good to see 101 back in the meeting, scoring 9+2. Surprised no heat wins for 101 there. And again, Reese showing his credit reserve 6+1. So yeah, it was a good match for all to see. Cam scoring 3 wins back to back, but then tailing off in his last few. And yeah, just a really good match for Storm as well. As you said, Ads with that 15 points, backed up with 11 from Method, and a good run of form there for Method. And then Racer Ryan scoring 13, 13-1 with 4 race wins too. Of course, with the silver helmet being defended in this meeting as well. So obviously Ryan had the advantage on there, and it proved it by winning the helmet 2-0. So he retains it. And of course, the next match he's got to defend it against is against the Sturton Panthers team. So that'll be one to look forward to. But yeah, great match to watch. Kept close. Both teams got points, so they both go home happy.
Yeah, it was, and as the referee and that, obviously I had a decision to make in Heat 11, which was at the time hotly contested over if it was a contact, enough contact for a rerun, and I'll put it for the record. It was about the slightest of contact, but there was just a tiny boost, and given that Ads was on gate 1 and turning, and because of the shape of the track being more square, not your conventional oval, and that, I kind of gave the benefit of the doubt on a few factors of it. You could see that not given, and the results stand. But for what it's worth, I mean, if I'm going to be consistent with how I'm applying the rule, I kind of did the rerun, because in round 2 of the BGP I gave Dreadlock a rerun for him clipping the grass. Not he went in it, but he came straight back out and he didn't collect anybody, but I gave a rerun. Even though he was pinged in, he didn't come to a full stop, so you could say I'm being transparent with my decisions. But I can totally understand and respect if people think that my decision for Heat 11 should not have been a rerun. Obviously, it was a 5-1 to the Storm as a result, when it was 5-1 to the Dragons in the original running. But yeah, it was a good meeting. It was as close as the scoreline suggests, and I predicted that would be the case. Storm very unlucky to with a couple of things, not to actually get a to actually obviously win the meeting, in my opinion. Obviously, Shads, and that you didn't have the best of nights, although you look great on track.
Honestly, Tank, I thought the Dragons were very lucky to escape defeat. I wasn't hugely impressed with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of dread about that track that's unjustified, in my opinion. I thought I spotted something in the week when we were watching the recordings. I thought I spotted something watching previous recordings, which turned out to be correct, which some of us used to good effect. But some didn't listen, and they didn't score very well. I think they can. I think they could be got at. A couple of them at least were rattled on the night. I think. Okay, maybe some of them had an off night, but they were very lucky with the pings. I mean, it seemed to go their way all night. I think there were 2 or 3 or 4 at least that went their way while we were in scoring positions. I mean, I pinged off Badger and Wolfen twice in the same race, which is a bit unfortunate. I don't think my score reflects the performance I put in. I think I rode pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
I enjoyed the track. I mean, it's a real test of concentration. I'm baffled at how poorly the Spartans rode here in the KO Cup with the riders they've got. I'm pretty sure they'll be better prepared when they come back for the league fixture in early December. I mean, Ads was a superb guest.
Yeah.
Considering his score for the Panthers in the KO Cup meeting here, it was good to have him around again. Very good vibes in the team chat. Proper mature performance. I mean, TJ informed Westy that he wouldn't be available less than 24 hours before the meeting after practicing all week. I expected Ryan to go well, but he didn't disappoint. But for the real star for me, like you said, was Method. I mean, he's not had a great month personally, and he hasn't been able to practice much this week. But what a performance! I mean, this must be his best score in STS, surely.
What a boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reasonably happy with a point, but I feel like we had a great chance to grab all 3 with an understrength team.
Yeah, and I do. I think that's the first wins. I think that was also a very good moment for Method to have them 2 wins in the meeting, and also with Ads, one of his wins came from shall we call it, the Stefan style gating. Absolutely missed it, and he went from last to first,
Yeah,
and managed to actually win. And that was took some doing, and it was actually it was very a very mature ride. Didn't panic, but just knew the line and stuck to it, and made it work by the end of the race. And especially around Hastings, massive credit, because, like you say, the track shape puts most people, they see it and they think can't do it, and that or gives you the advantage to the Dragons instantly, because they just know that they're going to come and they're going to fear it, so they kind of. But then if you've got riders in the team that are going to go there and obviously attack it the same way they do, then it's going to be more of a level playing field, and anything can happen.
just add one more thing before
Hmm.
I shut up. What is it with these 8 o'clock start times they keep doing? I mean, who does it benefit? If it's only to disadvantage the opposition, I mean, that's a little bit sad. I mean, they're good enough not to have to resort to these tricks. I mean, I noticed they were open for practice a full 2 hours before the meeting start time. So obviously they were taking us seriously.
Yeah, I think they'd seen a threat, wanted to be prepared, and probably known that they're probably going to lose their home record, which still could happen this season. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, I think the Spartans are going to be a lot better prepared when they go back, especially now as nobody can actually ride the track. If you want some personal tuition heads, I'm available. I'll give you a few laps if you like.
I've got a sick note for that week. I'm all
Listen, if Method can score 11 points, I'm sure you can score.
I won't be reserve anymore though.
So with that meeting, obviously the league table looks like this after the 5 meetings in league, with the Peterborough Spartans obviously leading the way on 17 points, with Dragons in second on 12, 5 points behind, and then we've got Storm on 11, a point behind them, and then we have the Ellesmere Port Panthers on 6, and the Wolves getting their first points of the season with 2 points, and the Cowboys likewise getting their first points with 1 point. Now, obviously, all the teams have got points, and it's pretty much close for obviously all over really between certain teams. How do we see the league table obviously ending up going into the second half of the league fixtures? Ads, what about you?
Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased at the moment. Obviously, with the average changes, I don't think it's going to affect our team too much. I think me and Birchie are quite similar riders. He'll drop into that number 2 position when needed, and also Lasortier has been a lot better this season. So, yeah, it's just I think we finish up with 2 away matches towards at the end of the season, which could be the turning point. I think obviously we have got Dragons away and we've got Wolves away, which are both going to be very different types of track, but tricky tracks as well. But as I think, obviously, it's far from over, as we know. Obviously, say the Storm got a point at the Dragons, and Panthers picked up a couple of wins recently as well. And with the bottom 2 teams off the mark, I can see Wolves pushing on now towards and be challenging for that 4th spot for sure. And Cowboys as well. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be too long before they get that first win. So I think we just have to wait and see. And I think the biggest battle, what we don't want is the bigger gap between 3rd and 4th opening up that little bit more. Like we have like 2 leagues in one, if you like, but we just have to wait and see.
I think your crucial week is going to be 14 and 15, where the Dragons go to Panthers. I think if they get 4 points there, it's going to make it very interesting. I think Spartans, you've had your hardest home meeting, and that was against the Dragons, which you won. You got all the points in that one. So I think you're pretty safe home. I think that point last night that we took off of them might be crucial at the end of the season. But the Dragons finished off at racing at our place, so we could. Well, I mean, we've yet to go to Peterborough as well, so we could have a say in the title race, even though we're not going to win it ourselves. Obviously, I think we could have a say in it still.
Joseph, what do you think?
It looks to be sort of the top seems to be set in stone. Really, I can't see anyone getting past the Spartans, especially if they continue their home form. Very important matches for them away from home too, so anything can happen. It's nice seeing all teams having points on the board now. No one's going to be going out for the whole season with 0. But it's very close, especially that middle order, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th seem to be the closest. I know there's a bit of a gap between 3rd and 4th, but a couple of wins for the Panthers could potentially, climb at the table. But I said I can't see anyone passing Spartans at the moment. They're just nigh on unbeatable. And second half of the season, who knows what's going to happen?
Fair enough. I'll make a bold prediction now. I think it'll go down to the final week between Spartans and Dragons, and it's on that last meeting, and I can see Wolves potentially, depending on results, in other meetings as well as theirs, could finish as high as third.
Well, if you're saying it's going down to the last week of the season, Tank, Spartans' last match is away at us.
Well,
Hmm.
we shall see. That's the league table after the 5 fixtures so far this season, with 5 more to go. Next up, we have the Shad's Rider of the Week. So over to you, Shads.
Okay, no messing about this week. There's only 2 real contenders. But this week, I'm giving it to my teammate who's exceeded even his own expectations. Scored 11 points at Hastings, including 2 race wins. My rider of the week is Method.
On to the next part of the show, which is going to be taking a look at the new green sheets, which obviously begins the rolling averages coming into effect, and we can look at each individual team. As you can see, there's been some notable increases and decreases. I should actually obviously start off by saying that for a new average with these rolling averages, because there's only 5 and you need to have ridden 6 meetings to get a new average, the criteria to get a new average is riders who have completed 5 matches in season 21 require their last match in season 20 to be added, and if a rider has only completed 4 matches this season, it's their last 2 matches from season 20 added, and riders that have completed 3 matches this season with at least 1 home and 1 away require their last 3 from season 20 to be added. Any rider that's not completed 3 matches this season or not ridden in 1 home away will remain on their current green sheet figures. Anyone that didn't ride in last season, obviously they will be calculated when they last rode. So with that, obviously the Cowboys, there is an asterisk next to a couple of riders. They are to be confirmed, not to take these as 100% official. There's just a few question marks surrounding ones with asterisks, but they will be confirmed in the official averages posted on the forum and the green sheets that will be handed out to the captain. So looking at the teams, what do we think about Cowboys average changes? Ads, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think obviously there Bobby is back going to be back number 1. Speedy's increased a little bit as well, but I think obviously the biggest one there we can see is probably going to be Craig. We'll probably talk about. Kane is not ridden really much at all. Ben slightly up and Rico slightly down. So in terms of the team setup, it's only going to be Bobby really who's changing, I think.
I think obviously Big Slow Kane's only ridden 1 meeting this season already, and that's the only one. Hence why you don't obviously get a new average. And I think Rico has dropped 2 places from 4th place in the averages for the Cowboys. So yeah, they've still got a nicely balanced team going forward. So not had much obviously change. Shads, what do you think them change?
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Ben's average go up this season. I mean, he's not had the greatest of seasons, so it shows you how bad his average was last season. Craig was the big surprise for me. Below 7, I can't remember the last time Craig had an average below 7. Must be going back. Crikey. I really can't remember. I don't even remember him having an average that low mid season. That's a real shock to me. Something's not quite right there. I mean, he's around. He's not as if he's not practicing. It's just like he's really struggling this season. I think it's all that weight he's lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the last time he was this low of an average mid-season. Well, whether it start mid-season or at the end. But then he probably see that and he'll probably kick on and actually improve it. That is what Craig ends up doing. Chester, what do you think?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow start for the Cowboys this year. But they've slowly starting to improve, as you see there on the screen, with the riders you've already mentioned. Bobby, Speedy at the moment, Ben Thompson have all improved their average really well. Only really Craig and Rico have dipped. As you said, it's surprised seeing Craig with such a low average. But there is still time for averages to change, and hopefully the second half of the season we'll see a different side of the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think we will be doing. Moving on to Dragons. Obviously, they're having a good season, being second in the league table, and everyone apart from one who's obviously decreased his average, and David Nofa hasn't ridden in enough to obviously get a new Greensheet average as part of the Royal averages just yet. But everyone else has increased. Obviously, the big mover there is Badger Racing. He's no longer at reserve. Shads, what's your take on the Dragons averages?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, David No Fear, I believe his proper average is over 7 now. So he's obviously not ridden enough meetings to get an average. So that's going to be an advantage for them having him at reserve. Because losing Badger at reserve, it's not really going to affect them that much because they still have Reese and David No Fear as their bottom two. Cam surprises me. I mean, Cam could potentially ride at number 2 now, which would be a real bonus for them because I mean he gets easy 2 reserve heats then, which is obviously going to be favourite for when it comes to those races. I don't think it's really going to affect them that much. Wolfie's average has gone up. I'm surprised at that because I mean he doesn't seem to have won many races this season, so he's obviously riding sensible and just making sure he gets round. No, I don't think it's going to really affect them. It might even strengthen them actually with Cam being able to ride at number 2 and still having 2 decent reserves. So no, I think the Dragons will have a good second half to the season. Like I said earlier, the crucial meetings are going to be when they face the Spartans at home. I think that's going to be the big one this season, which is coming up pretty soon, I think.
Yeah. Chester, what do you think on them averages?
Yeah, I mean they've got 3 riders over 8 points now. So they've got a decent spearhead of the team with Steven, Squall, and Wolfie on those 8-point averages. The one for me, as you said, is Riso too, upgrading a whole nearly 3 points on his average to go on a 5.93, which is really impressive. And if they guys can all click around Hastings, which obviously they've been doing, but I said it's still an early season, halfway through it. Anything's possible. So I'd like to see Cam maybe improve a bit more. He's definitely one that could potentially be a number 1 or even second heat leader. I think he was Squall's golden pick, so he's got a lot to live up to.
Yeah, definitely. Heads?
Yeah, I'm impressed by Badger. He struggled obviously last season. Keep changing his laptop over. But Reese, I've been very impressed with Reese so far this season, and his guest appearance as well for the other teams. He's scoring men as well, and in the SCS as well, quite good. So, but I think Squall as well deserves a mention, leading from the front, put nearly 2 points on his average, challenging 101 for that number 1 spot second half of the season. But to have be able to have Cam at number 2, riding with 101. I know it's not the first heat now; it's like heat 4, but still riding together 3 times. That could definitely be a big advantage for the Dragons, I think, in the second half of the season.
Then we move on to the Panthers, and obviously have a slow start to the season. Sees obviously Mareki obviously improved his average as I have also decreased mine on a personal level. But obviously, Chester, you've actually improved yours by 1.14. And obviously, Tintin's got an average. For you, Chester, you pleased with the increase?
I don't know how I've done it. I don't know how I've managed that.
Milton Keynes away, I think.
Milton Keynes away. I think that was the turning point. Yeah, I mean it's nice to be over a 4 point for a change. The whole team's been doing really well. Yes, it's been a bit of a slow start, but second half still to play for. A lot of tough matches still to come. But I know that we can, spring surprise. I mean, we didn't expect to go to Milton Keynes and win, and we won by a substantial amount. And then back-to-back wins against Wolverhampton or against the Wolves at Ellesmere. So things are definitely going to be improving. I hope to maintain that average or even better it, because obviously now I'm not a reserve anymore. Which would be a bit of a...
Still a reserve.
Am I?
Yeah.
Still a reserve? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I retract that last statement. Yeah. So, but apart from that, team's doing well. Good to see Mareki being an out-and-out number one that what the Panthers have been needing the last 2 seasons. And of course, an up for yourself there. Cappy's gone up, Sky's gone up, and yeah, just it's going good.
Yeah, Chats, what do you think on the averages for the Panthers?
Surprise! I'm the biggest surprise there is Cappy losing 1.48 of his average. I mean, he was looking really good towards the end of last season. I mean, he made it to number one on the Panthers side last season, and I'm surprised to see him not struggling. I think that's too strong a word, but not moving on. I think they've had some tough meetings. And also you got Chester, you got a little matter of coming to Kings in your next meeting. I hope
Yeah,
to
when
see
I
you.
just
Hope to see you lining up against new powerful reserve in Method.
yeah, looking forward to that one. Looking forward to it.
Yes. He said he's looking forward to racing against you.
We'll wait and see.
Skyride, another one. I mean, I don't think you should be too surprised at that drop because I think he was a bit inflated last season. I think he was in that really good Spartans team last season at Somerset, who were beating everyone towards the end of the season, and he was scoring. I mean, he's got that 4-ride maximum, didn't he, towards the end? And I think he said his average was a little bit inflated. So I'm surprised it's dropped that much, but I'm not surprised it's dropped.
Well, so we'll soon find out and see how the second half of the season goes for them. Moving on to the Spartans now. And this team has certainly sprung a surprise with only 2 riders dropping averages. And the most noticeable one is actually Stefan dropping on his average.
He's all washed up now.
Well, I think for me, the ones that I've improved the most is Adlington and Le Sorcier, both putting 2 points on their average. I mean, Haddington, you're on an 8-point average, mate. You must be, reveling the chance of being, you've got some good form as of late.
Yeah, I've quite surprised myself, to be honest. I think it's just riding around with these guys in practice. The top 3 are just so fast. I mean, even everybody really in the team, the practice is so hard sometimes, and it can get frustrating at winning races. But then that you don't learn if it's not like that kind of thing, and never really had that much before. So yeah, he can get beat up in training quite a lot, for sure. But it's definitely helping the team in the long run. But my away average is a lot higher than my home one at the moment, so hopefully that can balance out a bit more. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, it's second half of the season is fast approaching, so a chance for these new averages to take effect. Moving on to the store.
I
Oh, go
never
ahead,
thought.
Chad.
I never thought that the guy who came in season 14 rode with me at Sunderland and
Oh, don't
barely
mention
get
that first.
could barely get round would be on an 8-point average. I just didn't. I didn't see it coming. But
Fair
fair
play
play.
to you.
Fair play
Fair
to
play.
you.
Yeah,
Fair play.
fair play, Hads.
Sorry, move
Thank
on.
you.
Yeah, moving on now to the Storm
Please.
and
Oh,
again the Storm looking very powerful throughout. They're having 4 riders increase their averages. Noticeably, Method, I believe, is keeping his average. That's actually a typo error on his average. It's actually a 3-pointer. But again, some really strong increases in the team. For yourself, Shaz, as well, 1.47 up on your average.
yeah.
Something to be impressed
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
Boy.
Not particularly. I'm going through my usual mid-season slump, which seems to happen often. I can't think of any other reason why I can't score double figures on a prep. Like Wolves one week and one a couple of weeks later, but it seems to happen to me every season. But yeah, I'm reasonably happy. So teams, we've had our issues. Obviously, we've highlighted with Lofty, and obviously Heppel, who we spoke to last week. So it's not been the easiest. It's like when you see a duck on the lake, it looks serene, but then under the water, the legs are paddling furiously. So it's not been all tea and biscuits for us. But no, we're enjoying racing. It's just the bits in between that can get a bit, with all the personalities we've got in the side. Sometimes it doesn't gel like you think it's going to. But no, we're getting there. We're still third in the table, and we've got one foot in the cup final. We've just got that difficult trip to Wolves next week with their new signings, and yeah, everyone seems to be happy with the averages this season. Obviously, we've lost Lofty the last week or two with his issues, but yeah, we're hoping to go next week and get into a cup final. Fingers crossed, all being good.
Well, talking of the Wolves, they're the last team on this list, of course, bringing in those 2 new signings of Unknown and Limo, who are yet to race yet. So obviously they don't get an average just until later on in the season. But again, noticeable upgrades is JC up on upping 2.32 on his average. Surprisingly, Super Dip's gone down by 2.8, so he looks to be potentially in a reserve position in not too distant future. Hobnobber's upped his average a little bit. Bewitcher's upped as well. So we can't really do the 4 riders, unfortunately, for the Wolves in the averages for the moment. But hopefully, when things change and riders get in the averages, we'll be able to sort out all the information when we get it. Until then, Tank, it's back to you, my good sir.
Yeah. So as I said, obviously at the start, obviously these are pretty much obviously if there's an asterisk next to any of these on this graphic that you're seeing on this podcast, they are pretty much there. But if they've got asterisks, they are being finalised just to make sure everyone else is spot on and should be right. But the official one will be posted on the forum and on the Greensheets. So take this as a bit of information, but the final one will be conveyed officially, and the captains will get the updated averages. So moving on to the next part, which is the previews of the BGP and SCS North side for round 3, and obviously in the BGP, I believe we have 2 changes, don't we, Had?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Wolfie will be coming in for Lofty and adds MFT in for Mr. Griffiths.
Bit of a change, but we still quite a tight series. What's your take on this round, Had?
I think it's going to be a tough. Obviously, it's one of the newer tracks. I haven't done that many laps on this track, to be fair, but it was used last season for the 4-team tournament, so I think most of these guys will be pretty familiar with the line. So, I mean, I'm just looking at that heat 1 and I'm thinking, wow, what a first heat that is. And then you look at the next one, it's just as good, and you carry on down. There's no real, you can't really predict too many of these races, so it's going to be hard to predict a winner here. But I know I've heard a little dicky bird that comes quite quick here, so look out for him.
I can confirm that, as in practice with him before we came on here.
I know I've not even done a single lap, not since the track's actually been
Well, there's a surprise.
introduced. I've literally done no lap on it whatsoever.
Hank's not done any practice. There's a surprise. Are we going to pretend to be shocked?
Oh, might as well. Yeah.
Oh dear.
What do you think on this round in the BGP, Shads?
Well, this one promises to be a banger. Just 7 points separating the top 4 in the series, with Marecki, Cam, Speedy, and breathing down Stefan's tailpipe. I mean, no one can afford a poor meeting now, and on this track it would be a case of who blinks first. I mean, it's not a one-liner, that's for sure. 2 distinct lines: is inside round the curb, and then there's the outside right on the fence. And there might be 1 or 2 others that I haven't found yet. I mean, this could be a very fun meeting. Crucial to determine who finishes top of the pile at the end of the season. I mean, the neutrals would like to see is for the series to go to the very last round, but I think it's going to take something very special for all 4 of the top contenders to score big points here. I think someone's going to miss out tonight on Sunday night. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, hands together, pray to the gods, the STF gods, that this series keeps going right to the end, because I think everyone's getting a bit fed up of Stefan winning every year now. Especially now his average is dropping. I think it's time someone else steps up to the plate.
Pass the mantle over.
Yeah, I think it no disrespect to Stefan, but it's obviously he's putting the laps in and he deserves to be where he is. But it's time for someone else to come in and step up, maybe, and be a bit more consistent. It's okay scoring 18 points one meeting, but then when you're scoring 10 the next, that's no good to you. It's all about consistency. And Stefan's obviously the most consistent rider we've had ever, I'd say, over this period of time.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Now who's fanboying?
Well, I'm just saying facts. We've had riders before like Craig, who was the best rider, but over 3 or 4 or 5 seasons. But this guy's been doing it for what, 10, 8, 9 seasons now. He's been top of the averages. You can't argue with it. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
So look forward to seeing who comes out on top. As I predicted that this round in both series would be a defining one for who wins and qualifying position. So
How tasty does Heat 1 look as well?
Yeah, that is good, to be fair.
What heat to start off with?
5-1 to the Archers versus the Spartans.
Yes, exactly. You got the Spartans versus the Archers. Yeah.
Archers versus the Gingers.
Good spot. Good spot that. Ads.
Yeah, Archers versus the Gingers.
Yeah, yeah.
Strawberry blonde. Get it?
Oh yes, yes. Ginger. That'll do. So we shall look forward to seeing who comes out on top in that one. Also on the same night is the Sliders Championship Series, and we have 2 changes in this one as well, don't we, Hats?
Yeah, it is going to be Bewitcher, who needs still to confirm, should be coming in for Bobby, and Method is in for David No Fear.
Yeah, I think this is gonna. It's good that. Well, it's balmy to think that Bewitcher isn't a fully fledged rider in the SCS, and yet he's actually leading the way on 32. With obviously you just behind Shads on 26, same number of points as Reese. This could be an interesting meeting. I mean, see quite a few interesting scores going. It's still tight. I mean, there's less than 10 points between the top 5. That says something about this meeting. I wouldn't want to predict obviously what's going to happen here. Obviously, I think the unknown of Method coming in might actually put a bit of a wildcard bit into that, just to mix up a bit and give a few wayward results in the end. Because he's definitely capable of it, as we've come to see recently. Chester, what do you think on the meeting?
Yes, it's looking rather interesting. Some big hitters in this league, of course. I've got some Panthers connections in this meeting too, so I'm going to cheer those boys on as I always do. And of course, I've got some all fullback members too to cheer on. But yeah, this both BGP and SCS, especially this round, is definitely one to look out for. As I said, who knows what's going to happen? Obviously, the track is going to be a leveler in terms of different lines. There's inside, there's outside. It was used for the 14 tournament, as you said before, and the racing was just absolutely superb to the point where we couldn't keep up with commentating, because I know me and Sky commented on it, and we couldn't keep up because there was overtaking every lap, every corner. So this track's going to be very, very entertaining for both BGP and SCS meetings.
Can I just ask,
Yeah.
Hank, with Bewitcher being a replacement for Bobby, what happens if Bobby pulls out the series and Bewitcher comes in? Does he still obviously still maintain his points? I mean,
Yes.
but it's probably been unheard of for someone to come in as a replacement and actually win a series.
It is.
But
I don't think it's
I've had a few laps in Cam and Rico's servers, and I've got to say Rico's looking really, really good around here. Really, really good. I mean, he's got to be very disappointed with that first round score. Otherwise, he'd probably be top of the standings now, because he's a different rider in this series than he has been in the league this season. Something seems to have clicked with him in this series. I think maybe having his own computer now, brand new computer, and can get in the rubbish old laptop that they had before. So I think maybe it's helped him a little bit with his scoring, but he seems to be really quick now, a lot quicker than what I've seen him. I think that first round score might come back to haunt him eventually, but it's very close for the top 3. I must admit, you got 5 riders there. 5 riders within 5 points of each other.
Yeah.
All to play for that top 3, definitely. I don't want to say that either me or Reese are given to finish in that top 3 at the end of the season. Some tricky little tracks coming up. I mean, I'm not a particular fan of Northside. I think it's quite well known. I'm not one of my. I'm not a close to the fence rider. I'm not one of these who likes going around the outside. I like a bit of a dive bomb. And it's hard to maintain that for 4 laps when you've got riders zooming round off your outside. I mean, you can testament to that from the last individual you had with Heppel. When someone's zooming around the outside and you can see them catching you, it's difficult to change your line. And what do? Do you go out and block, or do you just maintain your line? It's difficult. I think
Yeah,
this is another one
definitely.
of those tracks where you've got to pick a line and stick on it. I don't think dropping and changing is going to really do you much unless you're one of the really top guys and you can nail it every time for 4 laps. I think you've got to pick a line and stick to it. I think it depends on your gate as well. I think if you're starting off gate 4 here, it's a hell of a long way into that inside from the start.
Yeah.
You've got to get a flyer if you're going to nip on the inside. So you might have to decide to stick on the outside for your outside gates, and then maybe on the inside gates pick another route. But it'd be interesting to see what everyone does here. But like you said, I remember that meeting that you commentated on, Chester, and it was a fantastic meeting, brilliant meeting to watch. Really good. It was just mad, wasn't it? Crazy how leaves were chopping and changing, and you just didn't know where to look.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll see how it goes and see who comes out on top for this meeting. Could potentially have a surprise winner.
Keep an eye on Rico. Remember that.
Yeah, that's a good show. Obviously, moving on to the next part of the show is to reveal the pairs and reserve pairs at track, and obviously the pairs for the top 2 is obviously on this Sunday, the 9th of November, Sunday 9th of November, and the reserve pairs is going to be on Tuesday the 11th of November. So 2 separate nights, and that's based on the meetings that have taken place in the league and the Knockout Cup. It was the best day out of Monday to Thursday. With that being said, and that, I shall hand over to Chester to take us through the draw.
Yep, thank you, Tank. We're going to look at the tracks that are going to be potentially drawn in. So we have Berwick, Halifax, Hull, Ipswich, Lakeside, Newport, Romford, Sittingbourne, and Sunderland. Those are the tracks that have been selected as potential riders. So we're going to look at it now. So stand by, folks. You are going back to Romford, the former home of the Icemen, and that will be the track for the reserve pairs, the Brooklyn Stadium. So my former stomping ground that is there, and last time I rode there, it was an inside track, I think it was, but of course it might have been changed.
This
But yeah,
track has
it
actually changed.
has been changed. Right.
It's the tracks that were included were full retile with existing line and second line added, and a full retile with fresh lines. And
Yep.
Romford falls in a full retile with existing line and second line added.
So it's going to be a bit more entertaining, I think, then. But yeah, good to see Romford back in the fold, and looking forward to seeing how the pairs shape up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And obviously, on next week's show, we will do the draws for both the pairs and the reserve pairs. The order in which teams will appear on the spreadsheet as well. So then you'll know exactly what heats you'll be in for both meetings.
And who you're against, yeah.
Yeah. We now go and look into the previews of the Knockout Cup. Obviously, there's only 2 meets being the semi-finals, and the first meeting that will take place is on Tuesday, the 4th of November at 9 o'clock, and it's the Peterborough Spartans against the Hastings Dragons, and obviously their first leg score was 61-35 to the Dragons. What's your take on this meeting, and who do you think will come out on top, even though it's obviously a big gap between the 2 teams after the first leg? Chester, what do you think?
It is going to be a miracle for the Dragons for the Spartans to pull this back. it's going to be they got to literally hit straight from heat 1, no mistakes, hit the big point straight away because of course there's no tax sub in KO Cups. I think that the Dragons have done just enough to hold on. I think, but don't count out the Spartans because they're going to be hungry for getting revenge, and of course remaining unbeaten at the home track. So this is going to be one that's going to be one to look out for, that's for sure.
I agree with that. Sheds, what do you think?
Well, I can't see anything but a Dragons in the KO Cup final. It would take something unbelievable to see the Spartans pull this one back. I mean, they only beat the Dragons by 10 points in the league fixture here. So to believe they will score 61 points to force a runoff against the Dragons side, I don't think so.
It's going to be a tough one. Yeah, you're going to need Spartans to come out fighting for this one, but yeah, I have to agree. I can't see anything other than Dragons progressing.
I don't think any team can come back from that sort of deficit
No.
before ever. I don't think so. I can't recall anything.
Then we might have an SDS first. We always love them.
Well, like I said before, if someone can lock Stefan away somewhere for a couple of hours and adds his keys on his laptop, start messing about, and Deoshaw gets called off to the Falklands at the last minute, then there might, there's no way this isn't going to happen. I mean, School's in great form. You've got Reese and Badger all in decent form. I've ridden against this Dragons team, and I've ridden against them, and I can't see any way that they are going to give up that sort of lead. I can't see it. It's going to have to be the comeback of all comebacks. If the Spartans can do it, fair play. Just give them the cup now. I won't even bother turning up for the final should we make it, because the name's going to be on the trophy. But no, I think the league for them this year, I think that's going to be their target.
And obviously the other Knockout Cup meeting, which is taking place on Thursday the 6th of November at 8:30, is between the Wolverhampton Wolves and the Kings Lynn Storm. And obviously the first leg score was 59-37, which pretty much identical scoreline. I think this is going to be I think it's probably going to go the same way with the Dragons, really. I can't see past Storm and that losing. I think it's the advantage them, and the Wolves need, but I think potentially with the new additions of Unknown and Nemo coming in, assuming they ride, I think that could make things interesting potentially, because you know what you're going to get with Bewitcher, JC, Hobnob, and and the ones that remain. But it's Unknown Limo. We know what Unknown can do, but Limo, obviously, he's only been out for a couple of months and he's back, and he could be, them two could be a difference maker. Hads, what do you think on the meeting?
Yeah, I think the Wolves could win this one, but I don't think they'll have enough to get through and turn that deficit around. Unfortunately, I suppose it does depend who does ride for the Storm. As we know, Lofty was missing last week, and Heppel Road, I think, last minute, and Method as well. So, and TJ wasn't there, so a lot could depend on that. But whether the two new Wolves boys will ride, who knows? But I think JC and Bewitcher have done a really good job of trying to lead that team while they have been down on riders. So, hats off to both of them. But I think we could see a home win, small home win maybe, but the Storm, I think, have done enough in the first leg there to get over the line, to be honest.
We shall see how it comes when we review these meetings next week, because I think it's we might even something extra to talk about, perhaps potentially. So I think that's pretty much everything on the show this week. Obviously, looking at next week's episode, we've got the review of the BGB and SCS round 3 and the leaderboard. And then we will also review the Spartans versus the Dragons and Wolves versus Storm. We shall have the return of the On This Day with Shads, and we'll also have Rider of the Week as well. The pairs and reserve pairs team order draws, and then we shall have a look at the previews into the sixth meeting of the season in the league between the Spartans versus Cowboys, Dragons versus Wolves, and Storm versus Panthers. And with that, we are at the end of a very jam-packed show. Obviously, we've got many social media links to look at. Chester, would you like to talk us through them?
Yeah, so we've got the website, we've got forum, we've got Discord, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter gets updated now and again. A lot of the media team behind the scenes do work a lot of hours keeping the game up and running. So if you like what you see and you
Not
want to
all
get
of
involved
them.
with it, yeah, all of them.
Not all of
just
them.
not all of them. Not all
No.
of them. I can agree with that. Yeah, so yeah, we've got website, forum, Discord, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. If you like what you see, like what you're hearing, and you want to get involved, just follow those links, and I'm sure one of our wonderful crew will guide you in the right direction.
Indeed, thank you for that. And that brings us to the end of episode 84 of the All For That podcast. So, with that, I shall say a good night to Chester. Good night.
A very good night to you, Tank.
I shall good night to Hads. Good night.
Good night, Tank. Good night, all.
And it's a good night to you as well, Shads. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
And we shall see you next week for another episode 85. Until then, good night.